Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing News.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Let's just dig right into it. This is the top 10 pound for pound, the IBFP's top 10 pound for pound, that is. And we're just going to give you the most unbiased pound for pound list there is out there in boxing today. There's a lot of biased pound for pound lists, and we're going to give you the true list that we believe is objectively the best list there is out of the top 10 pound for pound fighters. And we start with number 1 on the list, which is Canelo Alvarez. We believe he's the absolute best fighter in boxing today. He's pretty much put on display how great he is by taking on challenges and fights that nobody else is taking. He's moving up in weight class to fight a guy in Sergey Kovalev, and not only beating him, but he doesn't even allow it to go to a decision. He stops him in dramatic fashion. He's winning belts in multiple weight classes. He's being called out by everyone because he's the cash cow face of boxing. He earned that title by carrying multiple belts in multiple weight classes. Canelo Alvarez is the best fighter today, and he's pound for pound number 1. Number 2 on the list is Terrence Bud Crawford. This is probably the most avoided guy in boxing, period, because you can't, he would be a high payday, he would be, a title fight, and he would also be, a pound for pound status for any fighter who could beat him, and yet no one will even try. Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Yordenis Ugas, Errol Spence, none of these guys wants to see Terrence Crawford. And the funny thing about it is, you hear these fanboys make 1,000 excuses of why Terrence Crawford should do this, why it's his fault that he can't get the fights, just excuse after excuse after excuse. But you know what? Terrence Crawford has proven that he wants to fight the best, he will fight the best, and he can fight the best because those matches have already been made before. This guy's a former undisputed champion at 140, moved up to 47, won a belt in his first fight. No one wants to fight this guy. Terrence Bud Crawford, the boogeyman, is number 2. Number 3 on the list is Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is no doubt a Hall of Famer. Manny Pacquiao, calls his own shots. And you give Manny Pacquiao all the credit in the world for being a top-level fighter and being on a pound-for-pound list at this point in his career. He just came off one of his best wins in years in beating an undefeated prime Keith Thurman, winning another world title. Manny Pacquiao deserves the spot at number 3. At number 4, we have Vasyl Lomachenko. I believe Vasyl Lomachenko is an elite level fighter. He's put on a display of great matches against, good competition, and he's won multiple titles, and he's on the road to undisputed. So Vasyl Lomachenko is number 4. Number 5 on the list is Oslander Usyk. And I'll tell you this about Oslander Usyk. Not only did Oslander Usyk become undisputed in the cruiserweight division, but Oslander Usyk is moving up to the heavyweight division and is preparing and readying himself for another world title shot. So you give this guy all the credit in the world because he truly wants to fight the best. He's making all the changes and sacrifices to fight the best, and you got to respect Oslander Usyk at number 5 on the list. Number 6 on the list is Naoya Anui. And Naoya Anui showed against Nonito Donaire, winning the World Boxing Super Series, unifying titles, shown that he's a top-level, elite-level pound-for-pound fighter. He's a guy that nobody really wants to see because he is a special, special fighter. He truly is a monster, and Naoya Anui is number 6 on our list. Number 7 on our list is Josh Taylor. That's right, Josh Taylor is number 7. Josh Taylor put on an impressive performance against Regis Prograis, who many people had picked to beat Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor not only put on a great display of boxing, Josh Taylor had won the Super Series, unified titles, and passed every test put in front of him. He deserves to be number 7 on the pound for pound list. Number 8 on the list is Juan Francisco Estrada. And now if you look at Juan Francisco Estrada, he's one of the most improved fighters in the sport at this point. He has great wins over Sor Rungvisai. And you know what? You have to understand that he's putting the time and the work in the gym to truly be great. And he deserves to be a pound-for-pound fighter. He comes in at number 8. Number 9 on our list is Artur Beterbiev. Artur Beterbiev just beat Oslander Gosvic. And Vostok, and he basically comes out and unifies titles, stops the guy, and most people had Vostok beating Artur Beterbiev. Most people felt like he would lose that fight, and now everybody looks at him like he's a monster. You have to understand that this guy has, I believe, 100% knockout rate. Artur Beterbiev is a dangerous fight for anybody. And then number 10 on our list, and we have to put Andy Ruiz Jr. And a lot of people say, well, You know, heavyweights don't always belong on pound for pound lists. It wasn't initially made for that, and that is correct. But on my pound for pound list, similar to many others, I include heavyweight fighters on the pound for pound list, and I believe Andy Ruiz Jr. should be number 10. And the reason why is, you know, you see Deontay Wilder, who's never beaten an elite level opponent. Andy Ruiz Jr. did by beating Anthony Joshua. Andy Ruiz Jr. also did something what Wilder never did. He's never unified titles. Andy Ruiz Jr. did that in his first fight, beating a unified champion. And you know what? You got to give Andy Ruiz Jr. all the credit by stopping him. He deserves to be number 10 on the pound for pound list. He put on an impressive display. And if he wins the rematch, he'll move up the list again. So you got to give Andy Ruiz Jr. all the credit in the world to be number 10 on the list. The few guys on the outside looking in, I would look at a guy like, one of the guys that you have to look at is Jose Ramirez. I think Jose Ramirez is a truly impressive fighter. And he unified titles, beat Maurice Hooker. And, one more great win like that, and he'll be sitting on the pound for pound list. You look at a guy like Errol Spence Jr. I just don't believe that, he beat Sean Porter in that fight. That fight was so close, razor thin. And I believe Sean Porter edged it. So did many of the pundits. I just don't believe Errol Spence did enough to earn that victory. And even then, his resume is light. You beat a small Mikey Garcia. You beat a broken Kell Brook. He hasn't done anything to truly be considered a pound for pound fighter, in my opinion. He's just on the outside looking in. He needs another top win, and Danny Garcia just won't do it. But once again, Unbiased, as always, it's the IBFP.